Welcome back to the lineup. Now, if you guys thought week 4 of the college football season was crazy, well, week 5's got some insane games. 4 matchups where both sides are ranked. We're going to break down 3 of them. We're going to start on the SEC. No questions there. The Rebels taking on, or hosting the Tigers, number 4 LSU at number 13 Ole Miss. And Joel, the Rebels won last year in overtime. How does LSU get revenge?
I just got to say one thing really quickly.
Yes.
Great week of college football. I feel bad for anybody who's dragged to a fall wedding and not seeing this. With that being said, I think Ole Miss runs away with this game.
Are you serious?
I really think they do.
There is no chance.
I think they run away with this game. You look at the win that LSU. You look at the win that LSU had. You look at the resume, Croak. A touchdown win against Clemson. That's not a great win now. 10-point win at home against Florida and Lagway, where he threw 5 picks and they only scored 20 points. That doesn't look that great now. I think Ole Miss wins. LSU has not seen an offense as explosive as Ole Miss's.
Ole Miss is playing its backup quarterback. Ole Miss is facing its first true test of the season. LSU, listen, I do not trust Brian Kelly as far as I can throw him. But his team, pure and simple, is far more talented in this matchup. I don't care that they're on the road. I don't care that they're playing a team with an elite offense so far through 3 weeks. I don't trust Ole Miss's offensive stats. This is an LSU defense that is sneakily underrated as one of the top few in the country, in my humble opinion. They're number 9 in scoring defense. They're top 20 in total defense, top 10 in rush defense, and top 15 in pass defense. Those are all solid numbers, especially everything aside from the pass defense is really good. And they've played really supposedly elite QBs coming into the season in Klubnik and Lagway, and they've made them both look completely silly. Like, this is an LSU defense that's legit. I don't care that Ole Miss has looked great through a few weeks. They're playing their backup quarterback. LSU is a more talented team. I am shocked that you think
it's
going to
fair.
be a blowout, let alone an Ole Miss win.
Not a blowout, but I think they win. I think they definitely cover. It's 1.5.
Disagree.
Listen, as Lane Kiffin said, take the over.
Yeah, I'm going LSU. This is an obvious choice. The offensive line is going to be the key. Nussmeier has been sacked 6 times this year. That's 5th most in the SEC, but when he has a clean pocket, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation.
Yeah.
We'll move to a more highly anticipated matchup. Number 17, Alabama on the road against number 5, Georgia. Ryan, the Bulldogs lost last year 41-34. A couple of quarterback changes on both sides.
Yes. Interesting matchup this year. It's a little bit of new faces, Ty Simpson and Ty Simpson and Gunnar Stockton. Mm-hmm. Take a walk with me here, all right? Game's in Athens. Georgia's favored by 4.5. They're the number 5 team in the country. Kalen DeBoer's had a rough start to the year. Okay. Alabama's winning this game. Let me tell you why, all right? Georgia's favored by 4.5. They are 0-3 against the spread this year. Alabama is 2-1. Okay, that's a solid start.
Sure.
Georgia's pass defense got absolutely carved up by Aguilar in Tennessee.
Who won the game?
All right, buddy, let me finish, all right? We're not done with my little walk. Ty Simpson and arguably the best receiver duo in football, and Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard, they're going to carve these guys up even worse.
They're not better than Smith and Tate. They're not better than Smith and Tate.
I would disagree. Georgia tends to start slow. We saw it last year's game.
Yeah, they
down
always do.
28-0. That's what they do. And I think it's going to happen again. Listen, in last year's game, Carson Beck had to pass for over 400 yards to come back in that one. They ended up taking a lead, but they ended up losing the game. Do you trust Gunnar Stockton to put up a similar performance? I don't. I think Bama gets out to an early lead, and all they have to do is prevent Gunnar Stockton from carving them up. And I think they are more than talented enough to do that. Even though this is on the road, even though they're not favored to win, I think Bama's going to win this game, and I'm really confident in saying that. I really am.
I don't trust Ty Simpson because that performance against Florida State was atrocious. Now, Alabama's different this year because with Jalen Milroe last year was a 2-dimensional offense. This year, it's not 2-dimensional. You know who was a 2-dimensional last year? Georgia. They're 2-dimensional this year, and Alabama has historically not been good against dual-threat quarterbacks.
Bama's defense is great.
Ryan, you talked about Ryan Williams and Ty Simpson. I think that's a horrible take, by the way. 9 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Put some respect on that guy's name, first of all.
Opponents.
And second of all, fair enough, but second of all, you brought up a point of who won that Georgia-Tennessee game. And it's a fair point. But Aguilar, as good as he was, had 2 interceptions. And here's the stat, everyone. Alabama has the best turnover margin in all of college football, and they are one of 2 Power 4 teams with 0 turnovers. If Georgia doesn't get any turnovers, Bama definitely wins this game. They definitely win this game.
I think Bama can afford a turnover and still win this game.
I agree. 1 turnover.
I don't. All they have to do is get out to an early lead. They get out to a 2 or 3 score lead, it's over. And Georgia doesn't have the talent to come back this year.
And the obvious stat: Kirby Smart 1-6 against Alabama. He lost to DeBoer last year. And another thing, Georgia can afford to lose this game. They can. They can. Alabama cannot afford to lose this game.
Very true.
I do think you brought up that 1-6 stat. For our viewers, Nick Saban was the coach, and Nick Saban is obviously it was better than Kirby Smart all time. 0-1 against Kalen DeBoer, but I think Georgia's going to rebound very well. But we're going to get to our last game, which is our 2 analysts' most exciting and most anticipated one. Number 6 Oregon on the road for a number 3 Penn State whiteout. Joel, we'll go to you first.
Listen, everybody knows that this is a big game for me as a Nittany Lions fan. And I had Oregon for a while. And I'll tell you why I don't have them anymore. It's the 409th game played in Beaver Stadium. Joe Paterno, the winningest coach all time, 409 wins. I'm a little stitious, guys.
Sure.
But some things were raised to my attention. Dante Moore has been excellent. He's been disrespected by Jake Bowen, our host.
Yeah.
Disrespected.
Because he hasn't played anyone good.
However, he will have his worst game. His first real road test here going into a whiteout. I don't like that for him. And I like the guy as a player. I don't think he's set up well for that. And also, Jim Knowles. He played Oregon 2 times last year as a defensive coordinator for Ohio State, and we know how that Rose Bowl went. A defensive masterclass for the Buckeyes. I love Jim Knowles in this game for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, that's a fair argument. This is like a WrestleMania slate this weekend for us, and this is the main event. Penn State, Oregon, the Ryan Croak, Joel Polaczyk Bowl, as it's been dubbed since last year's Big Ten championship.
It's famous.
I'm the Oregon guy on the panel. He's the Penn State guy on the panel.
Opposite colors.
Eddie wears green and he wears blue.
Listen.
Reverse psychology.
I think we all know how this is going to go. Who's the coach of Penn State, Joel?
Big Game James.
Who's the quarterback of Penn State, Joel?
Drew Aller.
Listen, the numbers to me, including those 2 facts, those are more significant than the numbers. The numbers to me all say Oregon. They're similar defensive stats. Their offense is plainly better. Dante Moore has a QBR of 84.
They played
Drew
better
Aller
opponents.
is sub 40. And Dan Lanning accomplished as much in his first year in the Big Ten as James Franklin has in over a decade. But Penn State, as much as it pains me to say, will win this game. And they will win it by multiple scores. And Joel, I've been on this take for a long time, and I think it's a great one. Because here's what's going to happen. This is a whiteout. This is what James Franklin does. This is the James Franklin win that says, hold on a minute. Is this guy better than we've given him credit for? Is this guy good enough to keep around? Should we keep him around in Happy Valley? He beat Oregon. He beat Oregon in the whiteout. Oh, man, yeah, we can't get rid of him. When we know they should. And this is the type of game that Franklin looks at, circles on his calendar, big circle on the Oregon game, and he's like, that's the one that's going to save my job this offseason.
Because he can't beat Ohio State.
Because he's not going to beat Ohio State. He's not going to win the championship. They have the most talented team they've probably ever had under Franklin, one of, if not the most.
Right.
And they're still not going to beat Ohio State. They're still not going to win the national championship. But this is the game that you're going to look at and say, hey, can't fire him.
And we've talked about this before, too. You think the same line of reasoning for Franklin is Aller as well, right? He's going to have a career game, you think?
I think Penn State wins this game by multiple scores. I think the whiteout's too difficult. I want to say that if this game was in Eugene, I would pick Oregon any day of the week.
Yes, absolutely.
But because it's in Happy Valley, because it's the whiteout, I think Penn State has enough to win this game. They're a more talented team. I think they're going to win.
It's a far trip for Oregon.
26-17, my score.
Listen, we can talk about numbers
2017 Penn State.
all we want. 2-20 James Franklin against top 6 AP poll teams. But like you mentioned, it's whiteout. It's the whiteout. You mentioned Joel. James Franklin is telling fans to cheer on punts, on extra points. He really needs this game.
He does.
And the whiteout is one of the toughest atmospheres in the country to play. Give me Penn State 28-7.
I will say this, though.
28-7?
That's crazy.
Holy.
That's disrespect.
It's the whiteout. It's one of the
disrespect.
hardest
That is
environments to
disrespect.
play.
The disrespect to Oregon and Dante Moore right now is appalling, and you will pay for it dearly next week. But before we go, I will say, if Oregon wins this game, they are my natty pick. They have sealed up my natty pick. I know it's early in the season, but they will be my national championship pick for the second straight season if they win this game. It's a win-win for me. Either I get to pick my Ducks, I get to pick Dan Lanning as the national champion, I get to laugh at James Franklin and Penn State, or I was right about the win. I was right. Listen, I can't lose this weekend in this one. I really can't. It's going to be a great weekend.
We're going to recap this game next week. It's going to be circled. But that's all the time we have on this episode of The Lineup. From Joe Plotchik and Ryan Croak, I'm Jake Bowen saying so long from Syracuse.